Hello everyone, my name is David Allen Gay and you are watching the 25th episode of David Needs a Job. Well, the news is in. Sears is laying off 245 people here in Toronto, and comments on the web boards regarding this decision to outsource these jobs to India and the Philippines is of course predictable. People have made some rather unfortunate and very insulting racist remarks regarding the decision, not really understanding the true problem that exists. It's not about race. It's not about the person's culture. It's about a business decision that will ultimately hurt Canadians down the road. And I'll tell you something. I've been in the working field since I was 16 years old, 17 years old actually, sorry. And I've seen layoffs. Even at my last job, I've seen layoffs. And in one time, our IT department, which used to be based here in Toronto, was outsourced to the United States. And I was one of the people who spoke up and tried to persuade the management to change their minds and keep the jobs in Toronto rather than outsource those jobs to the States. Unfortunately, I was not successful. And I want to share with you why it's more important to not focus on the culture or the race of the people taking these jobs away from us, but more about what happens when jobs do leave a country and go overseas. Well, for as long as jobs that exist in Toronto and in Ontario and in Canada, taxes are generated municipally, provincially, federally. And that is because we all pay income tax when we work. That's unavoidable. It's a fact of life being in Canada. When those jobs go overseas, the tax revenue is automatically gone as well. You're not going to expect those people in the Philippines and in India to pay taxes and send money back overseas to Canada. That money is going to go somewhere else. It's not going to come to Canada, that's for sure. You're also laying off 245 people. And I've said this comment a few times before. But these 245 people, for the time that they're out of work right now, have become very bad consumers. They're not going to be concerned about buying things from stores or going on expensive vacations. They're not going to be stimulating the economy by making big ticket purchases. They're going to be like me right now. They're going to be hoarding their money, using the money to pay for food, their children's needs, their job search needs, any medical issues that they have to deal with, their mortgage. There's going to be no talk about going to anything expensive like the Azores or the cottage domestically. That money is going to be staying in their wallets. When people hoard their money rather than spend, it has a negative impact on companies. Companies suddenly realize they no longer have customers willing to buy their products because people are now hoarding their money. This is called consumer confidence. And companies themselves realize they have a revenue shortfall. It's not just the government anymore that have to worry about revenue shortfalls in the form of income tax. Companies are also now realizing that 245 people, for example, are no longer going to be buying their products. They're hoarding their cash. So they will now have to be faced with tough decisions on how to get that money from somewhere. And I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times more. Companies nowadays have taken the tack of cutting expenses rather than raising profits by putting together a better product in order to generate more money for their shareholders and their investors. That, of course, is a short-lived solution. And I can tell you from personal experience, I've worked for 3 companies that have tried that approach. They are no longer in business. They were either absorbed or they went bankrupt. Because they all went the same way. They tried to cut costs rather than address the situation about how to get consumers to stay. And they found that solution does not last for a very long time. You can't wait out the economy to become better. You've got to sell like the economy is good, whether it's good or in the tanker that it is right now. For those people who are out of work right now, I feel for you. I hope that you do find a job fairly soon and that you don't end up like me, who's been out of work for such a long period of time. My advice to you is to have hope, have faith, and try your best and do whatever you can to find employment. It's a tough situation that we're in right now. This is truly the age of austerity and the jobless recovery. But surround yourself with people who love you and people who will support you for who you are and not just for what you were when you were working. That's my rather short say for today. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this episode, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.